And when it's your turn to talk, then you
Please,
can
please,
talk.
please, let's just all be, we're all neighbors.
Yes.
You know, so please, let's all be respectful of each other, please.
Thank you.
So, I'm sorry, you were saying?
When the teacher's contract was originally presented, there were a couple of the board members who said, we simply looking at the finances, we didn't have the money to pay for it then. I voted no for it then, because you could see clear as day, we were gonna run out of money before this contract ended. And this is exactly what has happened. That is exactly where we find ourselves right now. And I think that we need to do everything that we can to preserve as much of this district, to preserve as many of the programs that we hold dear and that makes us unique in the world. We need to do everything we can. And I think by putting it off and saying, no, we're just gonna let it be here, it's such a narrow view of things. I can't understand that.
Right. I mean, after seeing the votes, we need to think outside the box, so I'm in favor of thinking outside the box.
Thank you.
There are processes that we have to follow, and with respect to the community, I think we need to look outside the box in all aspects.
Okay. Anything else about the timeline? Does anyone else have any questions about? Great, thank you, Dr. Mills. Continue with your presentation.
That's it. So,
Any other, Dr. Romano?
Are we gonna get copies of all the timelines?
It's in the board packet.
and I'll put it on.
I didn't see it.
I got a paper just in case. Here.
Great. Going to board committees, board policy updates.
So that'll be posted online. I'll send it through, assuming that the board doesn't make any modifications. We'll paste it on, it'll be posted on Facebook. And we'll send a link via Twitter. It'll be posted on our webpage.
For the timeline, you're saying?
Yes.
I mean,
Is
you
that okay
said-
with the communications? Jennifer, is that okay with communications?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Is it okay if it's posted on Facebook and,
Sure.
and the webpage and then also Twitter?
But you are removing this survey.
Well, that's up to you. You guys have to vote on that.
Yeah, that's
So,
fine.
so you'll vote on the, that's what you have to, if you choose to pull it, item H, if you choose to pull it as an action item, you'll make a modification to what's presented here. Okay?
Great, thank you. Moving to board committees. The first one up is board policy development. We do have our second reading of board policy updates. I put on their board review of board members' roles in regarding board policies. It's the board member's responsibility to know the board policy, to read it, to understand it fully. That this is the governing document that we have to really manage our district. And so, it's very crucial that everyone's well familiar with it. So I will, leave it at that out there. So, any other topics about board policy, or does anyone else want to discuss?
I actually have a topic that I'd like to discuss. I've been conflicting with. I have, one of the topic is one of the board policies that we have, section 2, 105, ethics and defense, talks about prohibitions and also gives us definitions. And there are about 15 definitions listed under the, for the purposes of this policy, prohibited political activities. We just went through a referendum. I guess sometimes it seems like that it's a fair game to do whatever we want in a way where no one's going to get caught or whatever. But I'm going to bring to the board's attention that our board president has violated 9 of those 15 prohibited political activities definitions. It's been reported that he was seen knocking on doors and speaking with community members on behalf of the citizens of the District 80 group. It's been reported that they were standing outside the Norridge Village Hall during early voting, as well as outside the school on election day. It's also been reported that he was approaching citizens to encourage them to vote yes, and all of this is all against our board policies. It's also been reported that through the Cook County Board of Elections, that he directly paid for the design and postage on behalf of the political party, citizen of District 80. And also, signs in the lawn urging the community to vote yes for district referendum. These are school board policies. I recommend and suggest to the board to conduct an investigation, and obviously not through our attorney, but a person that can run this investigation. It's clear right here under the definitions that he has violated many of those laws. And if we need to gain the trust of the community, that's one way to do it. We have to be transparent. So I'm also suggesting to suspend his authority as a president, also as a board member, until the investigation is completed.
So what about the whole paper that we got when we got the referendum?
Yep.
For the do's and the don'ts?
Sure.
That was approved by our attorney, and that said
Yep.
that you could do all that.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, but before I speak, I inform myself. And I just want to let you know that this is a valid document, but it's not our board policies. This is a document that was obtained by another school that were going through a referendum themselves, and it was given to Dr. O'Malley, and Dr. O'Malley shared with our attorney, but it's not in our board policy. And I haven't seen it in the board policy. So these are the do's and the don'ts that do not apply within our own board policies that we have.
But then wouldn't we have done something about it when he handed it out to us if you felt so strongly about that? Why didn't you say something then?
You're right, we should have.
But you probably were not
We
at the
missed it,
meeting.
and so did the chair of this committee, our president, missed that as well too.
Right, and so.
And then, sorry, one more thing. So then if we're going to investigate Servo
Sure.
for going against the policy, then we need to investigate you for going against the policy for contacting our attorney.
You're right, we should have, you're right.
So little petty. You were
but-
trying to get their
but-
trust, and we're gonna pull
but
this
it-
BS? Give me a
but-
break.
but,
Oh my God.
Cindy, I
Yeah.
understand exactly what you're talking about, okay? But in our policy states that we have to go to the board president. In this matter, the president was the one we have reason to believe that he violated all those laws. So I was not gonna go to the board president.
Okay, but it's not we, because more than
I
just
am.
him.
I'm just saying.
More than just him donated money,
I'm just
had
saying.
signs, was standing in front of the school,
Yep.
was doing all that stuff.
So all of you guys
If I just-
violated those laws.
and thank you for bringing that to
Sure.
our attention, Christian. In board policy 2.105,
Yes.
ethics and gift ban,
Sure.
it does talk about what is prohibited,
Sure.
and then after that, it gives you the definition.
Definition,
So
that's
you
right.
were reading the definitions, but the
I-
one part that you might have misunderstood or
No.
misinterpreted,
No.
if I listened to you, sir.
No.
If you
No,
mind,
that's not-
I will
that's not
read
true.
board policy 2.105, which
Yep.
is on our district
Let's see.
website. Number A, no officer, which is the elected official or employee of the district shall entertain, perform any prohibited political activities during any compensated time
Sure.
as defined in herein. No officers or employees shall intentionally use any property of resources of the district in connection with a political party activity. I like to inform the public that I am not compensated to be on this board. And then if you go to number D, it says, nothing in this policy prohibits activity that are permissible for any officer of employee or engage in any part of his or her official duties or activities that are undertaken as an officer, which is us, or an employee on a voluntary basis, which is not prohibited by this policy, is what this policy says.
So explain to me, why do we have definitions of the board policies, the board of the prohibited political activities, and we're not gonna follow them? So help me understand where the definitions come from and why they're on the policy. If letter A to D, however you just mentioned, they're not listed there. So why are we understanding the definitions?
I'm sorry, Christian, it's on board policy 2.105.
Okay, so
And it
explain to
says
me then
clearly-
explain to me why then, during registration, we had a board at a table there, and we had members of Citizen District 80 participating and in discussing the future referendum with the people that register. And I'm not the one, I wasn't there registering, I was told by many people that attended that night at Giles. So I explained that to me. So that's another violation that was done. But anyway, I would like to move forward, and I would like for you, since you're the board president, to bring these allegations to our attorney and for him, and have him review them.
And as you did contact the attorney,
Sure
which did cost us several hours
Sure.
of billable time,
Sure.
Which you violated policy
Sure.
2.16.
Sure.
But not to emphasize it, but if you continue to read the board policy,
Yes.
it says that if you do have a complaint on this, there's a section called enforcement.
Sure.
Right
There
there.
is an enforcement
Right,
section. I agree
right.
with you.
And the
That's
enforcement
right here.
says, the complaining alleged violation of this policy may be filed in consideration with the Board of Education. And it says here that you can do it through the, also with the
you read it?
Office of Elections.
Thank you. Well, that's fine. I can do that too. But I'm asking you to contact our attorney and follow through this.
Why would we spend money on that if all of us don't feel that way?
I'm
I mean, this is how
I'm
you
asking as
feel,
a policy.
but you are
because-
one member
because
of a
it is-
seven-person
it is
board.
against
If
the
there's a
policy here,
majority of
and he has
us-
violated them.
Excuse me,
He has
if there
violated
is a
them.
majority of us on the board that feel that
Yes.
way, then I
Okay.
can see where we could go to the
I
attorney.
understand.
Right, let's
If
do a
there is
census.
not,
Gaining,
then no.
gaining that trust again from the community. That's
Yeah,
what
we're doing a
Let's-
good job of it.
So
Yeah, it's not
if
the
everyone
job.
wants to go to the board policy under Norridge 80, Norridge80.net, and you go under, on your Chromebook, and you go to districts, and then under district, there is a tab called policies. And then on the side, you can click on number 2, and it'll expand, and then go to 2.105, which is towards the bottom of that list. And if you want to read the very first paragraph, A and D, which pertains to us in volunteering our time, and long as we're not on pay time. So if everyone could just take a minute and read that so they can interpret the policy. You just let me know when you guys are done.